Does this look kind of insane? You know, it's kind of silly that I'm actually nervous because I was just now in my head thinking, oh yeah, but it's always scary to do something new, but nothing about this is actually new. I've been doing this, talking to a camera, for like 14 years, at least. It's not even new. I don't even have that excuse. That's the whole problem. I have no more excuses. But it's still kind of scary to do things that are like outside of your comfort zone, you know? Which again, this is actually not outside of my comfort zone. So why are you so worried? Why are you so worried? Actually, I guess it's like the what if it doesn't work? That's kind of scary, but I don't even like, of course you want things to go. The things when you do something, you can't say like, "Oh, no, I don't care if anybody watches," because that's a lie. That's disingenuous. Nobody does something and then wants no results, but I do want to just have fun. Nothing about this is actually new for me. Like nothing about this at all. Nothing about this entire concept that I'm now gonna try with the vintage history and the sex. Like all of this is something that I have been either interested in or been doing for like a decade, over a decade. Even talking about all of these like stories that I want to share with people that are also interested in the same kinds of stories as I am. I've been sharing them forever, like my over a decade, for such a long time, to anybody that wants to hear it. And sometimes to people that don't want to hear it, like sometimes I will get entangled or I will entangle myself into a situation because I overhear something and I have something to say about it, because I generally do have something to say about most, well, not about most things. There's enough that I just don't care to talk about actually. But regarding these topics, or honestly, I do talk. I like to insert myself in a lot of ways. Even yesterday, I was in the grocery store with my husband, and there was a girl right behind me, and I heard her say over the phone, she asked someone, "Is it difficult to make meatballs?" And then my husband actually asked me, "Why did you give her a stank face?" And it wasn't my intention. I was just kind of surprised that she was so worried about the possible difficulty of meatballs. I'm like, basically, it's just slapping the meat together, maybe putting some onions in it, some herbs you like, a little eggy, and that's really it. But you know what? I actually sort of had the same thing. Did I ask my mom how to make meatballs earlier this year? I think I may have, actually. And I know I looked at some YouTube videos because I was like, I actually never made meatballs. And I bought all of this minced beef. I'm gonna make some meatballs. And I was looking at like, I wanted to make some like Greek inspired meatballs. And then you look at just one recipe, and people make everything so difficult. After watching a few videos about meatballs, I was like, well, this is apparently the most difficult thing to ever make. And then I decided to just basically disregard almost everything that I watched and just slap the meat together with a little, maybe two eggies. I don't remember. And the meatballs were delicious. They were delicious. They were really good. Why did I mention that? Oh, yeah, because I wanted to insert myself in the conversation. I wanted to turn around and be like, hey, girl, meatballs are really not as difficult as people make it out to be. Meatballs are actually one of the most easy things that you could make. But I was worried that she would think I was weird. And then we walked away and I was like, I just want to tell her meatballs are easy to make. And I circled back like a fucking stalker. I circled back, but she was so in the conversation and she was touching other meats at this point that I was like, I should probably not insert myself in this actually, because I have no part of this actual conversation. I don't stop talking about meatballs, girl. Stop talking about meatballs. We're not here to discuss meatballs. Although maybe I will make some meatballs again and show the process, but probably won't. I mean, I will make some meatballs, but this entire idea of this channel was supposed to be hey, I'm Tina, and I love most anything to do with vintage, history, and sex. Those are my three favorite topics to read about, to listen to, to talk about. And then I guess vintage and history is already very intertwined, although a lot of people into vintage are maybe mostly or only interested in the clothes aspect or like the furniture aspect. But why I like vintage things is specifically for because it has a story. I like things that have a story. I like people that have a story, and I like really good stories. Like, I don't know if other people will think that stories that I think are good are very good. Like, I love a good story of someone. Okay, this is gonna sound so bad, but like someone scamming, like in a specific way. Actually, only I don't like when people hurt people, or even like little mom and pop shops. But if you scam the government and you get away with it, love it, obsessed with it. Will always cheer that on. I like it when people get away with shit that don't hurt people specifically. Although maybe that's not specifically true, because when I read a story about like a big cocaine catch, and it's like, we caught 500 kilos of cocaine with this amount of street value, I'm like, oh my god, they were so close. They almost got away with it, you know? But that's not actually not hurting people, like obviously, because in the drugs industry there's a lot of hurt that goes around. You need to stop talking about drugs. Although I might actually talk about drugs more, because like Amsterdam used to have the cocaine factory, and I think that is such a fascinating thing. Like, this was an actual factory where they produced cocaine. It was called the Dutch Cocaine Factory. I'm pretty sure it was in Amsterdam. But the Dutch Cocaine Factory, is that not a great story? Well, you don't know the story yet, but it is actually a really good story. I will share the story, probably. I I like things with good stories. There's so many good stories, even just in some of my favorite areas. One of my favorite areas in the entire world is the Red Light District in Amsterdam. And I've been fascinated with it as long as I can remember, because this is where people get to be themselves. And I have been in the erotic industry for 14 years. I started in the industry when I was in law school, and I worked at an NGO for a few years, which is how I also still then got to do a lot of lectures about the history of sex work in the Netherlands and about the history about the Red Light District. And I just love everything about all of these topics. I find fetishes so interesting. I find it so interesting the way that they are actually formed in our brains. And I think a lot of the things that I love about sex and like fetishes, it's again maybe not necessarily the secrecy, but I do love a good secret, which is very ironic because I cannot keep my own secrets for the life of me. I cannot. Maybe that's actually why I love a good secret so much. Or not even that it has to be a secret for everybody, but just something that not everybody knows. I love that. And I love, which is what I have been doing in my work as a digital showgirl, as I like to say, is I love that I am able to let people be themselves. And I think that the way that I have done that the most is by being myself, but then at the same time, I feel, what do you feel? Like I have not been, not fully. I don't know why we're here. We are here because this has just been such a long way coming already. I don't know what else I can say. I don't know. Hello, friends. My name is Tina, and I love everything, most everything, to do with vintage, history, and sex. Girl, you need to get it together. Oh, my hair higher. Okay, you know what? It is not perfect. But that's okay, because neither am I. You know, why are we here today? Why are we here today? We are here today We are here today because it is Tuesday, October 28th of 2025. And I have told myself that today would be the launch of my first YouTube video. And I have like at least 7 different lists with like 50 different video ideas, because I have been compiling lists and ideas for well, my entire life about any kind of topic, but specifically for my YouTube channel for years and years. And a lot of these ideas that I've written in one list come back again in another list because I like these ideas a lot and I lost my train of thought. And something about lists, something about this keeps coming back. I actually thought of the name Tina on VHS like 2 years ago. I thought it was at like 2 a.m. because that's I would say not always, but often when my best ideas come. This entire room that you're seeing, I couldn't sleep. It was like 2 a.m. Very maniacally, like drew on pieces of paper that I then stuck together with scotch tape, and I made a perfect scale of this room and how I wanted it to look like. And you know what's crazy? It looks exactly like how I drew it a year ago, and I didn't realize it until very recently. I was like, oh wait, I actually made what I drew. Um, with crazy accuracy because I just like did it from memory. I don't. This is a very difficult room. This is a difficult house, which feels mean to say because I love this house. We live in a beautiful house. It's very old. It's like almost 500 years old. It's beautiful, but it's difficult to maneuver because there is not a straight line anywhere. Never, not anywhere. Actually, the floor in this room specifically, this is the attic, is the straightest floor that we have in the entire house. Most is it's literally like in the kitchen we have a 7 centimeter difference on just a 2 meters distance. So I thought it was at 2 a.m. But I went back and looked when I made the email address because suddenly I kept having like vintage, history, sex. I love all of these things. How am I going to combine it? How am I going to combine it? La, 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 la. It was 10:30 p.m. on July 11th. 2023 actually is when I thought of this name that I thought was cute because like Tina on VHS, and VHS tapes are already like very vintage at this point. And but then it's also the vintage, history, and sex, and those are 3 of my favorite topics. Anything to do with those 3 topics I very much enjoy listening to, talking about, reading about, and specifically the intersection of all of these things. Like, this has been in the making for a very long time. Why are we here today? Because I need to be here, and I cannot fully explain why. But I have a lot of stories to share, and I have a lot of things that I like to learn about, that I like to talk to other people about. And I need more people to talk to these things about because my husband has already heard all of my stories. And there's only so many times that he's going to allow me to say the same stories again. And people on the streets don't always like it when I randomly interject with anecdotes or like, oh, actually, tour guides, you're completely wrong. That is not factually true. What you're saying right now is actually a very strange lie. I need more people to talk to about I need more people to talk to that have the same interests as me. So I hope that you are one of them. We are here today because I like to talk. And because I like to talk about these topics. And because I have a very deep need inside of me to do this. It's time. It's time. And I need to get it together. I need to get it together. This is my first video because I said that today was going to be my first video. And my next video will be on Friday, Halloween. And I have 5 million ideas of things that it could be, but I don't know what it will be. All I know is it's going to be something to do with vintage, history, and or sex. And if you also like vintage, history, and or sex, maybe you like to see them. It will be nice. I think they will get better, maybe more structured, probably, at least. although I can't promise that completely. So, um, we are here today because you know what? I just hope that you're gonna like it. Honestly, I hope you're gonna also like the stories. Maybe you're not gonna like all of them. Maybe you're only interested in some of them. All I know is that I am here today because it is October 28th. Why are we here today? Because I have a passion for these topics. And I want to share them. And I hope I do a good job in bringing the enthusiasm that I have for these different topics and these different stories to you. Honestly, we are here today because I promised myself that I would be here today, and this video will go live today because I promised myself that it would. So, stay tuned. Friday is the next video. Nobody knows what it's going to be about. I'm not sure. We will see how this goes. And if you are interested in being on this evolving journey with me, then stick around, maybe. And I hope that you will enjoy all of these things that I have in my mind because that will make it a lot more fun for me specifically. That is a very selfish thing, but it will be more fun for me if you also enjoy this. All of this. So you better, you better enjoy. Okay, this is enough. It's enough. It's enough.